Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Tuesdays with Dr. T. So, just waiting for people to hop on. Today we have, oh my god, can't believe this. I just had a call. So today we are going to be having a Q&A session. Yesterday I have requested my community members in Autism Success Academy, the Facebook group. I have requested my parents to ask me questions, and alhamdulillah, I have had a lot of questions. So without further ado, let's jump right into it because I want to answer all the questions, okay? So hop on, keep the engagement coming. Let me know in the comments if you have more questions. You could be the same mommy or you could be someone else. Let me just check if everything is okay. It looks okay. So let me start with the question number 1. The first question that I received, let me see, was by Loretta Joseph. Okay, it's by Loretta. Loretta says, can my nonverbal son, who used to have about 10 words, has only 2 words, like api, p, and so he does not have speech. Okay, so Loretta, your son has 10 words, and 10 words used to have, Loretta's son used to have 10 words, but now he has only 1. Is that what you said? 1 or 2 words, okay? So for speech delay, what usually happens is your child might start with a few words, babbling, mom, dad, and things like that. And then with progression, sometimes the speech totally goes away. It happens to many of us, and that is definitely a very scary thing. And in my experience, what happens is when you start working on your child's speech development, the speech that your child had before, which stopped, can come back again. And of course, always comes back again, inshallah, if you are using the right way of doing it, okay? So, are there people coming in? Because I need to know if you guys can hear me and see me properly and whatnot. So for nonverbal kids, what happens with nonverbal kids is this. The brain, the center of the brain, the cortex, which is supposed to be creating the speech, the speech center of the brain, resides pretty deep inside the brain. So for the brain to be able to ignite the speech development, it takes some time to develop. And the thing is, the reason why I personally do not do speech therapy or do not condone speech therapy is because of this. In my opinion and experience, let me know in the comment if you do not agree with me, because I would love to know other people's perspective as well. In my experience, a child's speech comes from him or her learning from the environment. Okay? So your child's speech will come from learning from the environment. You cannot force your child, pressure your child, give your child rewards, and then make him speak. Because speech, wanting to communicate, wanting to talk, is a basic instinct. Many of us parents, we think that, my child does not want to speak. That's why he's not having speech. It's not that. The reason why your child is nonverbal on the spectrum is because the speech centers of the brain, they are not yet highly engaged or highly generated or highly ready to start with the process of speech. So to improve with speech, what you have to do is you have to work for your child's brain development. Okay? That's the only way, and that's the best probable way of really helping your child to develop speech, because you cannot force somebody to speak if the brain does not understand what he is supposed to comprehend. Okay? So speech therapies are not very accurate, are not very helpful. They are somewhat helpful, but they will not really help your child to start speaking and whatnot, okay? So if you want to improve your child's speech, you need to make sure you are helping your child's brain development. And to be able to do the brain development, I teach the 5 pillars method, right? Remember, so your child's diet needs to be on point so that the brain is getting all the nutrients it needs to be, functioning properly, to be blooming, to be regenerating. Then your child needs the brain to be getting rid of toxins, getting rid of any chemicals that is preventing the brain from wiring and firing properly, okay? So we need the detoxification. We also need to improve your child's need and desire to speak, okay? And how can we do that? We can do that by giving your child a nourishing, grounding lifestyle, and also by the way you parent your child, by the way you as a mom or dad connect with your child, because your child is having a hard time understanding the world because his brain is a lot different than your brain. So your child's brain is having a hard time comprehending or understanding information. So you need to give your child that need-based support. Walaikum assalam, everybody. So you need to give your child that need-based support so that your child can start getting more interested to speak. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Loretta, if you have more questions, let me know in the comment. So the next question comes from Naima Sultana Pushpo. She said in Bengali, I'll just say it in English, okay? So her first question is the CF, SF diet for a lifelong? Okay, my first question. When it was my turn to change diet, I never asked my doctor, the Ayurvedic doctor that I was working with. I never asked anybody, actually. I never asked anybody. If you have question, Fuad Hassan, if you have question, please write down your question. You cannot come into the, join the live. Okay. So, for me, I never asked this question. For me, it was very important that my son speaks, that my son has a regular, healthy life, that my son is independent and he can have a normal life. And I was ready, I am still ready to keep continuing on anything that needs to be continued. Period. Okay? So, I hope that answers one of your question, one of the part of your question. Yes, the diet needs to be a bit special all throughout the life. Here is the reason. If your child is allergic to beef, do you ask your doctor or do you ask yourself, when can my son have beef? If your child is allergic to peanuts, highly allergic to peanuts, do you even comprehend when my son will be able to eat peanuts? Peanuts are very nice. Peanut butter is so nice with jelly and whatnot. When can my son eat peanut butter? Do you ask yourself that question? No. So the CFGF or the special restrictive, semi-restrictive diet that we have for our children is to ensure that your child stays healthy, the brain stays healthy for a longer period of time. Because as a 36-year-old neurodiverse, anytime I eat cheese, I have this problem going on inside my head. I will have headache, I will have body ache, I will become angry, I will become irritable. So as a 36-year-old, I have understood, because for the last 5 years, about more than 5 years, I have been trying to stay on the, gluten-free diet. It's hard. I understand. Sometimes the gluten-based food is very interesting, very tasty. Once in a while is okay. So I'm not saying your child can never have gluten. What I'm saying is first, focus on your child's gut healing and brain healing. It takes about 2 years. So for 2 years, you need to be very strict on the diet, but give as much variety as possible in terms of nutrition. Okay? And after that, you can slowly, very slowly incorporate those food that we regularly eat and see if your child reacts to it. So for Muhammad, what I have seen is he is okay with rice and gluten-free treats and stuff, okay? But if I give him wheat-based product for 2 or 3 consecutive days, then I see that he become angry very fast. So it's my cue to not give gluten. So once in a while, maybe, you know, a birthday, Eid or festival that you have, you can give your child. But junk food that are high in preservative, highly processed, those food is not good for anybody. Those foods are not good for anybody, and you do not need to. You should not even think about giving your child those food, because those food does not have the nutritional value. And number 2, those food are not being digested by your child properly. So if your child can digest the food properly, then extra toxins will not circulate the brain. And you all already know that if your child's body creates toxin or gets toxin from outside, then the brain development slows down or pauses, okay? So we need to ensure that your child's brain is not bombarded by chemicals and neurotoxins from all over the world, okay? Your second question is, how about following through the probiotic? Yes. So probiotic is actually not a supplement. Probiotic is the most important thing that every human being's gut needs, okay? Probiotic is the most important thing that every human being needs. It's not just your child. You also need probiotic. Yes, probiotics can be on and off. Maybe you give him 3 months and then you don't give him 1 month, and then you again give him 2 months and then you don't give him 1 month, like that. But all human body, the gut, every human gut contains the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, right? And till death, your body, your child's body will need a lot of good bacteria to be able to digest food properly, to be able to have good brain functions, to be able to have good mood, good sleep, and general development. So if you want your child to be going on in the developmental journey, have a positive success, which is sustainable, probiotic is very important, okay? And probiotic rich food is also more important. You don't have to give him supplement every day. Don't have to give supplements. You know, supplements are expensive. So for the first 2 years is when we say that give them supplement. After that, what you can do is give your child more home-based, you know, probiotic things like achar, natto, kimchi, anything that's fermented will help your child's gut bacteria. And if the gut is well, then your child's brain will be well. Always remember, it's very simple solution. Keep your child's gut happy to keep the brain happy. And if the brain is happy, your child will no longer need to have any diagnosis. Okay? You do not have to go around, running around from places to places, from doctors to doctors, from therapy to therapy. It's not the answer. The answer is to work on your child's brain development. And how can you do that? By also working on the gut healing, okay? Because they are both connected. So the third question that she has is speech development, B vitamin for speech development. Okay. I personally never gave any specific B vitamins for Muhammad. I do not even ask my students to do so, because a certain vitamin can never be the answer of speech or brain development. For brain development, your child needs all the important essential elements. Do you understand what I'm saying? For your child's brain development, for any child on the spectrum, a single vitamin, a single supplement, or 10 supplement is not the answer. The sustainable answer is food, natural, healthy, gut healing food, which has a variety of nutrients and vitamins and minerals. So no, you do not have to give your child B vitamin for speech development. For speech development, you need to work on your child's gut and brain healing. And if you don't know how to do it, you can learn from us as well. So the next question comes from Naz. She says, my 6-year-old child who is mainly nonverbal says words sporadically. Sometimes he won't say the word again for weeks or months. Why could this be? Thank you. You're welcome, Naz. So sometimes what happens is all human body or brain, it's cyclical in nature. Cycles. Okay, they're just like nature has cycles, nature has ups and downs, and then you have rise and tide, you know, jowar bhata kind of thing. So anything that works with the body, it has ups and downs. So when maybe the brain is able to connect properly, when there is less toxins in the body, when your child's brain is actually in the mend, in the developing phase, that's when the speech comes in. And then when that process halts or pauses, that's when the speech also goes away. But the good news is, since you said that your child is speaking sometimes, that tells me your child has 100% ability to be fully verbal. That's a good news, Naz, okay? That's a good news. Your child can be fully verbal if you give your child's brain the support, the right support it needs, okay? Because speech is probably the last thing that comes when we are working on the child's recovery or brain recovery. But even if it takes 6 months, I have seen many of our students, many of our kids who I work with, their speech comes out and keeps on until, like, you know, 3 or 4 years. That's what I can say. Like, it keeps going on. So the speech, there is like a delay here. It's not like your child is boba. What's the mute? Your child is not mute. Your child has speech. If any one of your child ever spoke words but then stopped speaking, please don't scare yourself away. Your child can get back speech. If your child is by-born mute, then that's a different case. Non-verbalism for autism does not have to be all throughout the life. Trust me. I don't want to use the word trust me. It's just coming on. Trust Allah. Trust your God. Trust your God and trust the ability of the immense power of human body. You do not have to trust me. I'm nobody to trust. Trust only your God, because He created your son. He created you. He created human body as the most magnificent system on the earth. So if any one of your child was speaking, maybe at 1 year old, at 2 year old, and then the speech stopped, that tells me, the first question I ask when we are in a clarity call is, was your child speaking? And then everybody would say like, yes, sister, he was speaking X, Y, and Z, you know, 1, 2, 3 words, and then he stopped. Then I was like, okay, if your child was speaking even 1 or 2 words, then we have a lot of things to work on. And then yes, there is a more than 90% probability of getting 100% speech back. Because when we started working with Muhammad, he had only 2 words, ma and baba, but that he could not use in context. He would be like ikolalia, you know, like ma, but not ma to me, okay? So that being said, your child's speech going on and off is connected to the brain condition. When you work on the brain development of your child through the system that we, you know, talk about, even if you don't want to go with the system, just change the diet and see how much improvement you can get. Your child's body needs detoxification as well, a lot of brain support and development from the inside and naturally, okay? I hope that answered your question, Naz. All right, so the next question comes from Zareen. By the way, do we have new questions here? Because sometimes Facebook doesn't show me all the you know, comments on time. Usually when after the live, I'll see the comments and I'll be like, oh my God, I just missed the opportunity answering those questions. Okay, I think we don't have Okay, we don't have additional questions, so let's just go on with the ones that I have here. So Annie Zerin says, what sort of test can we do or do we need to do to about the body? Okay, so probably she meant what sort of tests that the body needs, that we need to test to ascertain the conditions inside the body. Okay, here's the thing. Sometimes I say things which are so much, which is so different to what you are used to. So 20 years ago, 10 years ago even, I would say 20, 10 is a little too much. Even 10 years ago, there was a lot of testing. So 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when you went to real professional doctors, they could tell the condition of your body just by taking the pulse, just by seeing your symptoms, and just by talking with you, because those were real doctors. They did not need 100 different tests to see what's going on inside. Because here's the thing, human body is a very complex system. Yes, we need testing. I'm not saying testing is wrong. What I'm saying is over testing is unnecessary. You do not need 10 testing. You do not need even 5 testing. Heck, when I started working with Muhammad, I did not do any tests on him, because his symptoms was a good enough indicator for me. Well, I am a healthcare professional. I have the degree, I have the certification, I have the education. You might not have, that's why test is important for you. I get it. So I'm not comparing my situation with yours. What I'm saying is test is absolutely not important. But if you want to test your child's internal system, I would say a complete blood work is important, is good, because you can know if your child's hemoglobin is okay, if the red blood cell, the white blood cell, and platelets and all of those things are okay or not. The second thing that you can do is an allergy testing. So a lot of, I would say like diagnostic centers in Dhaka, in Bangladesh, also they are doing it. So you can do a complete allergy testing, allergy profiling. So when you do the complete allergy profiling, any food that comes with a number of 3 or higher, you just stop those food. Don't give your child those food. Only give your child the food with the test result of 0, 1, and 2. Okay, 0, 1, and 2. Those foods, those numbers of food that you tested with the allergy testing, those are safe for your child. The numbers 3, 4, 5 or higher, don't give those food to your child. So the allergy testing and the complete blood is, I think, good enough. I do not condone the other testings, heavy metal testing, then testing with hair and whatnot. Here's the thing. If I go for a testing, even I will come out as heavily toxified. Even you do testing for yourself, you will see a very red flag filled of report. Why? Because we all are bombarded with chemicals and toxins every single day. Each one of us have stored toxin, which is why people nowadays are actually feeling less energetic. People nowadays are more prone to being angry and depressed than our parents were, than our, elder people were. When did you see your mom or auntie or khala to be depressed, suicidal? How many of you did you see your, elders be depressed? Very less. Why? Because they used to eat very healthy food. Food 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago did not have pesticide the amount that we have. Even our water is toxic. The chlorine, the fluorine that they add to the water makes the water very toxic and makes the water very bad for health as well, for gut health. Because the chlorine in the water kills the good bacteria in your child's body, in your body. So we actually need clean water. We actually need no chlorine, no fluorine water. And please give your child fluoride-free toothpaste. Your child does not need, nobody, no human being needs fluoride for teeth development. It's not needed. It's bad propaganda. Mitha katha. You do not need fluoride-based toothpaste. Your child, fluoride is highly toxic. It kills brain cells. Okay, it kills good bacteria in the body. So stop fluoride-based things, chlorine-based things. Use natural alternatives as much as possible. So to answer your question, Zareen, if you really want to do tests, please do the complete blood work to see if your child's nutritional deficiencies are okay or not. And the other thing, which I would say pretty much is possible, everybody do it. That is complete allergy profiling, okay? And avoid the ones with higher numbers, more than 3 or more. The next question is what I am pretty interested to answer. It comes from Chad Sultana. She says, does adenoids cause autism? I have to be honest. I had to look up and do my own research to be able to answer that, because this is the first time I heard somebody saying something like that. So here is the thing. Adenoid is a gland. যেটাকে আমরা বলি, what do we say? We call this tonsil. Okay, so adenoid, the other word for adenoid is tonsil. So tonsil is usually a node around here and here. So every human being, they grow with adenoid. Okay, we are born with adenoids. By the age of 3 and 5, these adenoids grows, and adenoids are actually important. Even if doctors say, oh, tonsil is not important, just do a surgery. Here is the thing. If you go to a doctor and do a surgery, he earns money. Period. If anybody tells you, cut out this body part, it's not important. Your God did not create a single thing in this world or in your body or your child's body unnecessary. It's written in Bible, it's written in Quran, it's written in Torah. Not a single. God didn't create anything unnecessarily. That's a verse. I did not create anything unnecessary. That's what Allah said in the Quran. Okay? So God never created anything unnecessarily. So the tonsils is important for your child's body. If you see polyp is something that grows out in the nose. That is not a normal case. Polyp growing up is a different case. Okay? And even with surgery, things can come back. You know, very interesting. These days, pregnant moms are actually more, how to say, they are more brainwashed to go for C-section than regular birth. The doctors, I remember myself, all 3 counts, the doctor asked me, do you want to go for normal birth or C-section? You know, normal birth is very, very hard. You will have lots of pain and whatnot. Let's just go for C-section. It will be easy for you. The doctors these days, especially in Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, all of those countries, okay? Especially doctors over there, they influence the woman to go for C-section. But do you know C-section is equivalent to having a open heart surgery? And C-section is not painless. Even after C-section, you will have a lot of pain and your back is destroyed for life. For life. Another thing, when I had adenomyosis, you know, terrible uterine cramp when I would have period, adenomyosis or endometriosis, when you go to the doctor, they will say, do a hysterectomy. Why? That's not the answer. There are reasons for things happening in your body, and the reasons are 2-pronged. Always. Anything that happens in your child's body or your body has 2 reasons. One physical reason, one emotional reason. Always. They are interconnected. Okay? They are interconnected. So adenoids, you know, these tonsil things, they actually help. I have this helpline, thing here. So Healthline tells that adenoids are at the back of the nasal cavity and they actually helps child to fight off infection. So these tonsils helps your child fight infection. So if your child has tonsil, no, tonsils does not create autism. One of the reasons for autism are many, but having tonsil is not a reason for autism. So if your child has autism, if your child also has tonsillitis, means, you know, an enlarged tonsil, this tonsil did not cause your child's autism. Your child's autism was created by a complex condition depending on many information. So I think the time has come for me in my next live, inshallah, I will talk about the causes of autism. How about that? Let me know in the comment and show me some love if you think that will be an interesting topic for you guys. If I really go inside and speak about the reasons for autism, it will be very exploratory. I know people will be very angry with me. There will be many backlashes, I'm pretty sure about it, but I just have to say what I have to say. Yesterday I shared something. I cannot please everybody. You cannot please everybody too. So let's just shake hands and do what we need to do. Okay? So to answer Chat Sultana's question, your child's tonsillitis or adenoids are not causing autism. They are different, but kids on the spectrum, they are highly prone to have infection because their immunity and gut health is poor. That's it. Your child's gut health is very poor. That's why the immunity power is also poor, because immunity is what? Immunity is the fighting capacity of the body, right? 80% of your child's immunity resides in the gut. That's why you have to work on the gut, nothing else. Okay? Okay. So Shakila Jahan says, is body massage good for ASD kid? Not just good. Body massage is the best thing that you can do for your child. We teach it inside our course as well, inside our programs, and I teach my students as well. I have a YouTube video where I showed how I do it for my son. Please go to my channel and see that. I'll ask my team member to, share the link here for that video. We will share it with you very soon. So what massage does is a lot of things. Number one, massage helps your child's body to detoxify. Okay? Massage helps your child's lymphatic system to become stronger and to detoxify. Massage helps your child to feel calm, to go to, to sleep longer. Massage helps your child to feel grounded and not like, how to say it? I don't know how to make it understand to you guys. So for us, people on the spectrum, we often feel like we are walking on air and then we will fall down. Is it making sense? Please let me know in the comment if it's making sense. So we feel like I feel, Muhammad feels, your son, your daughter feels like we are walking on the air without anything underneath. So how I hatle jerokom feel hobe na, like unbalanced, that's what we feel. That's what neurodiverse people feels because of the brain. There are some chemicals that makes us feel like that. Okay. So when you massage your child, it makes us feel grounded. So grounded means both feet on the ground and I'm like, okay, I have full authority of my body. I'm not just walking on the air. I hope that makes sense. And the last thing that massage helps is it helps reduce hypotonia. So hypotonia is when your child cannot grab things, cannot have, cannot play, cannot hold things, cannot hold pencils and all of those things. So it helps with hypotonia as well. So please do, everybody massage your child. Best time for massage is after a bath at night, because it will help your child to sleep as well. Okay. So Sharmin Akhtar, she asked a question. Sharmin is our student. I would ask you to ask this question in the group, then you will have more answer to that. Okay? But let me answer the other two questions and then I'll come back to you if I have time. So Safa says, what tests should be done? Okay, so Safa, I have already shared 2 tests when I was answering the question of, Aniapu, which test to be done. So please come back and then rewatch the replay. You can see those. I have already mentioned those tests. I'll make a separate post if that helps. Let me know if you would like a separate post where I can give you the exact names and everything, okay? Oh, I think I missed one question. Echolalia, how to treat it? Okay. When we use the word treat, we are often meaning that it's a disease. Echolalia is not a disease. It's a symptom that comes with child on the spectrum when they are non-verbal. Why? Because echolalia is their way of repeating words that might not make sense to you, but it makes sense to your child. Echolalia is also a golden opportunity. Do you know why? Because echolalia tells me that your child wants to speak, but cannot because the brain is not wiring properly. So echolalia will slowly go away when brain development is on the process. So for our kids who we work with, let's say we start with a child who has a severe echolalia, that usually goes away by 2 or 3 months. Okay? And by 6 months is when we see our students starting to speak, inshallah. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes some kids start speaking earlier, but 6 months is, I would say, the standard for our program to see speech developing, okay? Did I miss any other questions? So, one more student of ours, she says, my 5-year-old child has adenoid and thyroid problem. Is it responsible for ASD? No. Adenoids or thyroid problems did not cause your child's autism. I will make a separate video. I think inshallah next week I will do this live. I will talk about the reasons why your child has autism, because when you learn the reasons, that's when you can solve them, right? So I will give you enough proof inshallah, and then I'll show you guys how autism starts, why autism starts, and what you can do about it. Did I miss any other questions? So let's just take Charmin's question before I wrap up. So she says she feels a lot of pain when her son is not speaking. I think she just prayed, like, she's praying to Allah that everybody's son starts speaking. Okay. So she mentioned that her child is not still digesting food properly. Okay. We have to keep working on your child's gut healing. Some kids, as I said, all kids are not same. Even with the same age of your child and another child, that child's gut might have healed in 4 months, but your child is still struggling. That's okay. Don't get angry on your child. Don't get angry on you. It's just a process. It will run its course. Okay? Here's the thing. We are given antibiotics. Sometimes antibiotics are life-saving, but most of the time it's actually unnecessary. You know why? Because infection will run its course anyway. You cannot stop infection like that. Just by giving antibiotics, you cannot stop infection from running its course. Infection will run its course on its own time. What antibiotic does is it tries to reduce the bad impact of infection on the body. But here's the thing. Our body, our gut has 10,000 times more powerful antibiotics inside of the body. Even the adenoids, they produce antibodies, which fights with these pathogens. So for the last 2 days, my brother-in-law's daughter is very sick. She's fighting with I think chickenpox, okay, or measles. So she's having a very hard time. She is going through a lot of pain and medication and whatnot. I'll do a post about it, trying to raise awareness on what really happened. So here's the thing. Even with the best doctors, even with the high dose of antibiotics, the doctor's still saying that it will take about 7 days. Even if you don't do any antibiotics, usually it takes about 7 to 10 days for the body to create enough antibodies and fight with the bacteria or virus or fungus or anything that we're doing. Here's the thing. Most antibiotics only work on bacteria. Some works on virus. Rarely anything works on exactly the, how to say? So antibiotics, they are not selective in nature. What I mean by that is when you give your child antibiotic, when we take antibiotics, the antibiotics does not know which bacteria or virus to kill. It kills everything. Okay? When we use pesticide in our food, in our growing our crops, it does not understand the good weed and the bad weed. It kills everything. So whenever we are taking a medicine, for example, you have a headache, you take Tylenol or Napa. Napa does not know where your body has the pain. This is coming from a pharmacist with a PhD, okay? Napa, when you take Napa or Tylenol, it does not know Tylenol. This is the thing. Even when I was a student in honors, I was like, why doesn't people understand this? So I used to ask my teachers, like, okay, miss, when I take Napa, how does Napa knows that my head is hurting? My teacher said, Tasnova, Napa does not know that your head is hurting. Tylenol does not know your head is hurting. Antibiotics does not know there is a infection in your nose, in your mouth, or inside your body. What it does, it works on all the parts of the body. And for that to be able to go through all of the body, we use higher dose. Because the drugs that we take, it does not know where to go and do its job. It does the job on all over the body, which is why the drugs have side effect, because it needs to be given at a higher dose so that it can cover all the body. I hope this is making sense. I think I have a few questions here by Nena. Please, what of a child who is 4-year-old and never spoken any word before? I need Nena, oh, so what your child? So I need to know more about it, but usually never a word means, so even with Muhammad, I can safely say that Ma and Baba is not really word, because they are like, we have this word in Bangla, it makes so much sense. Bully, okay? It's like we say it like nobody's business. So even if your child has had 1 or 2 words that or makes sound or wants to make sound, does babbling, it tells me your child wants to speak, wants to develop speech. Okay? So we need to work on that. That's the thing I always say. For speech development, you need to work on your child's brain development. And your child is 4 years, there is still a lot of things that you can do, okay? Find the resources to work with us if you love us so much, Nena. I really want to help you, but I cannot do it like this. We need to work on specifically what his problem is and then find out the solution, okay? All right. So yesterday also one of our group members, she has been here for she has joined us for 1.5 months. So she shared that her 6-year-old son, who used to have very little sleep, has started sleeping very well. Okay, so inside of let me show you what goes on inside of our groups, okay? It will be very interesting for you guys to see what's actually going on here. So when we have, so inside of our group, we usually have something called #win. So what is that is all the students, they have 2 hashtags to follow. So one hashtag is #win, whereby they share their wins. and the other one is #help, whereby they ask question. Okay, so when I personally feel like maybe things are not going enough and whatnot, I come back to my group and I see the wins, because they give me more power to go on. So here are all the wins that we have. See, lots of wins coming on every single week, inshallah. So this is actually possible for you. Growing speech, getting your child to a healthy developmental state is very much possible for you. The things that you are trying is not working, you know that very well yourself, but you still keep on trying. Why? Because A, maybe they're cheaper, and B, because everybody is doing, and there is certainty in number. There is comfort in number. No. You remember the Pied Piper, Hamiloner Bashiala? So what did that Pied Piper do? He kept on singing, not singing, he kept on going with his pipe, and then all the rats started following him, and then he took all the rats down to their death. What about Hitler? We all understood Hitler's own soldiers understood what they were doing was wrong, but what did they do ultimately? They did follow Hitler, right? World War I, World War II, any civil wars, any wars, Ekatturer Muktijuddho, anything, any war that you think about, there is always this dictator, there is always this leader who is usually wrong, but he has the influence to influence thousands of people to give their life just for no reason. Every year, American military or any other country's military who work for the United Nations and, working for other countries, thousands of soldiers die. Waste of life. Why? Just because they were following what everybody else was following. Do you want to do that? Do you want to be that person? 10,000 mom going to this therapy thing, that's why you are also going. Is it helping your child or those 10,000 people? If it's not helping, just don't do it. Find the mindset, find the reason for you to fight. Because here's the thing, a lot of the time you do not want to fight because you feel that you have already lost the battle. No, you haven't already lost the battle. What I'm saying is, if your child is a younger child, you have more than 90% success rate waiting for you. You do not have to work with us, please. What I'm saying is, we can really help you, but you do not have to work with us. You go find a way, change the diet, keep on working on your child's nutrition, gut healing, detoxification, giving the proper lifestyle, giving the proper love and support, and taking care of yourself, the 5 pillars that we talk about. Work on all of those things under a professional, please, because doing it yourself is not always right. You can try recipe, you can try building up recipes, but even with trying to build up new recipes, you need to know the basics, right? For a novice who does not know what jeera does, what salt does, for a novice cook, he cannot create basmati rice or paella. He cannot create biryani, because those are complex dishes. So your child's situation is complex. It needs complex support. So find that support that you feel comfortable with. And if you want to work with us or know more about us, our WhatsApp is always open for you. It's +1 613 10 20 6134 10 20 27. Okay, or you can go to our website www.autismsuccessaccademy.com/programs, and you can learn more about that. And also we give special support and scholarship to those who are in need, those who come from poor countries, those who come from third world countries. So you just have to reach out and have the mindset to solve this, because this is solvable. If your child is not talking now, it's because the brain is not wearing properly. It's not a permanent condition. Okay? Your child's problem has root cause, which is inside, not outside. Inside the body. We need to heal the inside first. Okay? I hope this one helped. I'll see you guys in the next one, next live. Until then, Allah Hafiz. Bring more people inside the group. Ask more questions. Be more active. That's how we can fight this fight and come out as success. Okay? Because we are all about success. Allah Hafiz.